Good afternoon. Greetings, everyone. We're ready to get started. Thank you. In the back of the room. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Welcome to the special meeting, Tuesday, December 10th, Morro Bay Veterans Hall. This afternoon, we will just have our special meeting, and then we will adjourn and have our regular meeting at 5:30. I'll ask the city clerk to establish a quorum.
Thank you, Mayor. Councilmember Barton. Councilmember Edwards.
Here.
Councilmember Ford.
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Landrum.
Here.
And Mayor Wixom.
Here. Thank you very much. We have item 3A, B, C, and D. Public comment is open. I'll ask you to keep your comments to 3 minutes. And any of those, the regular meeting later will have its own public comment. And with that, I have one speaker slip to start out. Aaron Oaks, please.
Thank you, members of the council and staff. My name is Aaron Oaks from Morro Bay. What a wonderful day. It's so beautiful outside, and it's a momentous occasion that we're able to thank council members Laurel Barton and Jen Ford for their wonderful service to the community. Both of you have contributed tremendously to the community discourse, to the dialogue, and have put a spotlight on a lot of important issues that we should be talking about more. And I hope our incoming leadership, Jeff Eccles and Bill Lufay, will be able to continue the conversations on things like homelessness and, water resources, and how we can improve our public works infrastructure. So thank you, both of you, for your service. So I wanted to talk about Measure A24 for a second. I wanted to thank the wonderful people of the Citizens for Estero Bay Preservation for their tireless work for the community, raising awareness about something that means a lot to people. It is a contentious issue, but it doesn't have to be anymore. We are all coming together. This is a time for healing, and I'm proud to announce that I've joined forces with people who voted yes and people who voted no on a coalition to carry on the community's wishes and step up and oppose the proposed battery energy storage system as it goes through the state. Now, as we are certifying the election results, I want to let the council know that it's at your discretion to direct staff to reach out to the California Coastal Commission and the California Energy Commission and remind them that Vistra did not complete their good faith negotiations and discussions with the council. They didn't even finish their responses to the DEIR, and I feel terrible that they left you in a lurch and did not communicate with you that the project timetable was not something that was adequate for them. And so I think it's important to reach out to these state agencies and let them know that Vistra did not exercise all their remedies that were available to them prior to them going to the opt-in certification pursuant to AB 205. Again, I just want to congratulate all the candidates and especially Mayor Carla Wixom for once again stepping up to be mayor of this wonderful city. Thank you, and I hope everyone has a good rest of their evening. Thank you.
Thank you, Aaron. I have another speaker slip, Clint Wyrick. I have one more. Go ahead, Barry. Clint will wait, I can tell.
Good evening, Barry Brannon, proud citizen of Morro Bay. And heck with the speech. I just came to say thank you guys, number one, for put yourselves out to spend this much time, 4 years being on council. And it's just amazing how it goes by and how busy it keeps you all. So many things to do for the city. But mostly, I'd just like to say thank you for all of the support. Almost 6,000 Morro Bay citizens voted yes on A24, even though there was a lot of confusion about yes meant no and no meant yes. And I know if that would have been a little more clear, it might have been even greater. But that's not the point. The point is I'd like to have everyone here that's got a blue shirt that supported us, please stand in the audience and just kind of show how the support and how strong we had. These people worked hours and hours. They wrote reports. They made signs. The artistic ability that was offered to us was just absolutely amazing. Last time I was involved with politics was in high school, probably way before any of you were born. And I do mean that. That's the last time I was in politics, 1957, class president. So think about that. Think about that. So we did it. It was called the Jefferson Democrats. We were taught to vote and to register and to run for election. And I will say that this city runs like a democracy. You encourage the citizens, you give to the citizens, you listen to the citizens. And that kind of participation is just amazing. Because you see that transparency is not true in a lot of cities. And they have a lot of problems. We were just in a horrible city of Phoenix. And looking what happened, the growth over there is just totally uncontrolled. And we were glad to get back. We went to a birthday party. But thank you, people, for thinking about A24. I hope that it will leave a legacy to preserve Estero Bay. This is what we're all about. The oil deliveries out of the tanks from Chevron are gone. The jet fuel that was pumped into our city, that's gone. The petroleum distribution facility is where Del Mar School is. That's gone. I have pictures of all those developments. The power plant will be gone someday in a different vision. But that's the brown zone that needs to be cleaned up in the heart of our town. And I think that's what, when we look ahead and we think about the future and the legacy we have, that's what I want to say. Thank you for all the voters.
Next up, Clint Wyrick, followed by Janice Peters, please.
Good afternoon. I'm Quinn Wyrick here on behalf of California State Senator John Laird, and I did put I'll be only 1 minute, so I'll keep it short. And so I'm here on behalf of Senator Laird to first congratulate all the winners in your very, very difficult, unopposed races. However, that means that you all actually had a lot of time to really get oriented and caught up early, so you'll all do an excellent job, and he looks forward to working with all three of you, and he's actually familiar with all of you and all of your work too, so that'll be an easy transition. But also, he also wants to thank Councilmember Barton, Councilmember Ford for your time and service. Senator Laird served on the city council too. He understands that it's a lot of time commitment. You deal with a lot of different issues that you didn't expect when you first got on it, and so your service is appreciated. And he has official recognitions for each of you too that I'll hand over. And that's under 1 minute, so I have completed my public comment now, Mayor.
Thank you, Clint. And I know what a hard-fought race you had also.
Hello, Janice Peters. I just want to thank you all, too. I know what it's like to have to serve, and it's a joy and frustration sometimes, and you all have handled it beautifully. And I have to say, without sounding sexist, I was so proud to have an all-woman council. Oh, my gosh. And manager. I mean, it's been kind of fun. Although I'm delighted with the two gentlemen who are coming in for next year as well. But thank you all. Congratulations.
Thank you, Janice. Former Mayor Peters. I have one more speaker slip. After that, public comment is open to everyone. I will get AGP. I'll get there in a minute. Christine Johnson, please.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Christine Johnson, resident of Morro Bay. I'm here today to offer, on behalf of myself and my family, our sincere thanks to our outgoing council members, Councilmember Barton and Councilmember Ford. Thank you for your years of service, thoughtfully and dedicated to the city of Morro Bay, both on the dais and also in the community representing us. Both of you have approached city issues with a spirit of collaboration, the honest desire to build consensus, while at the same time respecting the opinions of your council member peers, our city staff, and members of the public. You did this whether or not people agreed with you. And this, in my opinion, is the true measure of a successful city council member. The ability to remain positive and courteous when you are likely receiving more criticism than compliments, when the vote doesn't go your way, or when public pressure intensifies. The three qualities, collaboration, consensus, respect, are all that is needed to serve on the City Council. And a sense of humor can't hurt either. Thanks to you, Laurel and Jen, for representing the best public service, especially during difficult times. And best wishes to our incoming City Council, re-elected Mayor Wixom, Council Members Edwards and Landrum, and as well as incoming Council Members LaFay and Eccles. It is unusual to have an uncontested campaign in Morro Bay, and it can be nice for candidates not to have to expend time, energy, money to campaign. Yet the lack of candidates only highlights the difficult and unique challenges ahead for our city and for you all as leaders. I am rooting for your success. I look forward to hearing your collective vision for the next 2 years as you work with the city staff to create your city goals. It seems clear that finding new sources of revenue must be a high priority to ensure the city we all love remains independent, solvent, and thrives, so we can maintain funding for our local safety departments, public safety departments, popular rec and parks programs, critical public works projects, and talented administrative staff in all areas to maintain our high quality of life in this beautiful location. With collaboration, consensus, and respect, you can move Morro Bay forward. Thank you, and happy holidays.
Thank you, Christine. Public comment is open.
I just wanted to say thank you to our mom, Jen Ford, and to Laurel as well. I appreciate everything you did for us in the city, and also congratulations to Jeff Eccles and Bill LaFay. And yeah, thank you, Mom and Laurel.
That was Aislinn, by the way. And I'm Alexa Ford, also Jennifer's daughter. The most important thing that I can say about my mother, and that I have to say, is that I'm proud of her. And I'm proud to be her daughter. Anyway, my mother has sacrificed date nights with my father, any semblance of a personal life whatsoever, and any free time doing the work that she did here. At one point, I actually almost believed her phone was surgically attached to her hand. To say she was dedicated to this job is an understatement. My mother would take hour-long phone calls on car rides to family funerals, and I think that says enough. By the end of each day, my mother would fall asleep on the couch the second we put on a movie that she picked out after dinner. And yet through it all, never once did she fail to show up, not for just our family, but anyone in her life that needed her. She drove to San Francisco and back on a dime to bring a friend their wallet so she wouldn't miss her flight, and made it just in time. She welcomed me and Honey and our cat to move home after the house we were living in burned down, and assured us that we would never have to leave if we weren't ready. In fact, I think she broke a drive time record on the 41, getting to us when I called her after it happened. And she always had time to listen when you needed her. In this job, my mother took 4 years of cruelty and threats from the public, and she took it with grace. She never once weakened her stride. She stepped up to this job when Red Davis passed away because it was his wish, and I know he would have been proud of her too. My mother overexceeds in everything she does. I look up to my mother, and I know others do too. I love you, Mom, and I'm so proud of you. Thank you for serving this city, and to everyone else who served the city as well.
Anyone else for public comment?
Good evening, Mayor and council members. I too want to thank council members Barton and Ford for their dedication. I've been around here for 40 years, so I've seen a lot of council people and mayors come through here, and honestly, you all have just done a wonderful job, and I want to thank you for your dedication. My husband Frank would also like to extend his thanks for all you've done, and everybody has said pretty much what I had to say, so I'll just say thank you and have a good evening. Thank you.
Thank you, Linda. Public comment is open. Anyone else? AGP?
Yes, Madam Chair, Madam Mayor, we have one speaker. I'm waiting for them to unmute. Stand by.
Hello, can you?
Hello.
Julie, go right ahead.
Hi, my name is Julie Cravetto. I'm Chief of Staff for Assemblymember John Addis. And I would just like to say on behalf of our entire office, our thanks to our outgoing council members, but also Councilmember Jen Ford, who has provided incredible service to the city of Morro Bay and also the state of California. Thank you for your grace and your leadership for all of us. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else for public comment?
Yes, we have one more person, Ms. Amaro, asking you to unmute your microphone.
Hi, my name's Diego Amaro. I'm just calling to say congratulations and a thank you to Jennifer Ford for her service and her work on the Morro Bay City Council. I know that whatever Jennifer decides to pursue from here on out, we all know that she's going to do a great job. And just want to say thank you to Jennifer Ford for her service.
My name is Betsy Gaudette Cross, and I'm a resident of Morro Bay, and this was very spur of the moment. I just wanted to thank you guys for your dedication. I've only lived here 4 years, and I've never really been involved with going to city council meetings or anything. And you guys have been just so welcoming and friendly, and you're open to conversations. And I want to commend you on that and thank you. And good luck with next year.
Madam Mayor, we have two more people that have raised their hands.
Thank you, Bob.
Ms. Adidas, you may now unmute your microphone.
Good evening. This is Assemblymember Dawn Addis, and I am first and foremost want to congratulate and welcome the new members to the council and say that our office is here at your disposal. We have enjoyed a very strong working relationship with the city of Morro Bay as well as the Morro Bay City Council, and we look to continue that relationship moving into the future. And I also want to congratulate and say thank you to outgoing members Ford and Barton for your incredible work on the council. Having served with both of you when I was on the Morro Bay City Council, I know about your dedication and your service and your love to our city and your commitment, most importantly, to hearing all voices. And so want to appreciate you and look forward to seeing both of you in the community soon.
The next speaker, I've unmuted your microphone.
Hi, everybody. My name's Alexis Garcia Rezola. Just wanting to wish Jennifer Ford and thank her for her service, for tackling local challenges, to advocating for initiatives that uplift her residents. You have consistently demonstrated what it means to serve with integrity and compassion, Jen. So I just want to let you know that we are super thankful for your service, for being a fearless leader, and for your ability to bring people together and foster collaboration, which has left a lasting impact on the community of Morro Bay. So thank you so much, Jen, and wish you the best on your next endeavors.
Anyone else, Bob?
No, Madam Mayor, no other raised hands.
Thank you very much. Any other public comment? Seeing none, I will close public comment and bring it back to council. Thank you, everyone, for all your kind words. I think we will have some sharing here in just a few minutes, but business part first, I'm going to turn it over to our city clerk for item 3A, resolution declaring results of the November 5th general municipal election and adoption of ordinance.
Thank you, Mayor, council members. I am presenting for your approval resolution number 7224, declaring the results of the November 5th, 2024 general municipal election, the first uncontested election for mayor and council member seats in Morro Bay's history. Once again, Morro Bay had a very strong voter turnout with over 85% participation. Measure A, a citizens' initiative to amend the general plan to prohibit a change in land use designations for specific parcels unless approved by Morro Bay voters, also passed, receiving nearly 60% of the vote. Staff recommends the City Council adopt Resolution 7224, declaring the results of the November election, and direct staff to update the language in the general plan consistent with Measure A24, and direct staff to initiate the process for a zoning code amendment to indicate that changing the land use designation for the specific parcels requires voter approval in accordance with Measure A24. And with that, we're happy to answer any questions you might have.
Seeing no questions, I will ask for a motion.
All right. I've dried the tears. Yes, I would like to move that we, let's see here, adopt resolution number 7224, declaring the results of the November 5th, 2024 general municipal election, and direct staff to update the language in the general plan consistent with Measure A24 with all due haste, and direct staff to initiate the process for a zoning code amendment to indicate that changing the land use designation for the specific parcels requires voter approval in accordance with Measure A24.
And do I have a second?
I'll second.
There you go. And we'll do a voice vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Thank you for making that last motion. Moving on, comments. Council? Laurel, would you like to start?
Oh, well, I would like to say that it's been a pleasure to serve here, and just listening to the comments tonight, you can tell what an involved citizenry we have in Morro Bay, and that people just love their hometown. So it's always nice to hear that. We don't always all agree, for heaven's sakes, but it's nice to know how much people are involved in their city and care for it. So thank you all.
Thank you. Mayor Pro Tem?
I just want to express my appreciation and my for both Councilmember Barton and Ford. And it's been a pleasure to get to know you both and work with you. And I hope that that we will, be able to continue to stay in touch, and that you'll both show up at a meeting here or there, and give us your feedback. And I wish you all the best, and I'm excited to see what you do with all this huge amount of free time that you're going to be enjoying.
Thank you. Councilmember Edwards?
Yeah, I don't know how much free time the council member to my left will have, but I want to say thank you so much from the bottom of my heart for the two of you and the work that you've done with us. Your generosity, your grace, both of you, and your love for this community is so obvious all the time, every day, in the things that you do, even on this dais and away from the dais. So I just want to thank you. I'll miss you both so much, but I know you'll be around, and I will be there talking to you still.
Councilmember Ford?
All right, mine's a little bit more lengthy. I'm sorry, everyone. But I will stick to the script because, as you all know, I have already been a puddle of tears on the floor, and I'll probably continue that. But all right. As I reflect on my time serving this extraordinary city, I'm overwhelmed with gratitude for your trust in me and the shared work we have accomplished. When I first joined the Planning Commission, I couldn't have imagined how my path to service would unfold or how many acronyms I would have to learn. Later that year, I was appointed to the City Council after the passing of my dear friend and neighbor, Robert Red Davis. All right, I knew this is where I was going to break down. All right, I got this. He asked me to personally step into his role, a request I accepted with a heavy heart. I have to tell you, I was speechless, really. A deep sense of responsibility. No. Okay. And absolutely no idea how many spreadsheets I'd be looking at for the months to come. Thank you, Red. Serving in his honor has been one of the most meaningful experiences of my life. I will forever be grateful for the council's decision to bring me on board. Shortly after, I ran for election and was humbled to be chosen by our greater community to continue serving. This journey, however, has never been mine alone. While I was one voice and one vote, I had the privilege of serving alongside two incredible city councils. Teams that have never shied away from the hard decisions, complicated discussions, or were able to stay awake during public and closed session meetings, but that sometimes required serious caffeine and Mayor Wixom's baked goods. I'm very grateful for those. My term began during the COVID-19 pandemic when Zoom fatigue wasn't just a trendy phase. It was our entire reality. Keeping our community connected while everyone was shuttered at home was challenging. There were city council meetings with more agenda items than participants, and I'm pretty sure AGP may have set a record for the number of times they had to say, "You're still muted." Despite the challenges, we leaned into technology, creativity, and persistence. And AGP, I want to give you a shout out, city staff, and my colleagues made it work. Today, we're stronger because of those efforts, though we all know there's still work to be done. I'm thankful that we can flush our toilets with confidence after such a long journey that a pandemic added extra layers of challenges to, and I hope to fill the same confidence with water security in future years. As we move toward implementing new tech upgrades to this building, my continued wish is that our new council will include closed captioning in the next phase that can be interpreted into other languages. I'm proud that we as a city continue to expand accessibility because government should be accessible to everyone. In 2022, history was made when Carla, I'm gonna get a little casual here. Carla, Zara, Cindy, Laurel, and I became the first all-female city council in Morro Bay's history. This milestone wasn't just symbolic, it underscored our belief in inclusivity, representation, and the power of diverse leadership. Each of these women have brought their wisdom, experience, and love for our city to the dais. Our council started with a flood of responsibilities. Overnight, we found ourselves in crisis response mode, working long days and sleepless nights after some of the worst weather events our region had experienced. I knew then that we were in it together, not just as a council, but as a community. Over the last 2 years, we've worked toward a city where residents feel seen, supported, and safe. We raised the pride flag over the City Hall for the first time, proof that small symbolic acts can create waves of belonging. We made tough choices, knowing that progress often comes with challenges, and we approached decisions with the future of Morro Bay in mind, while keeping our fingers crossed that we weren't going to lose our Zoom broadcast during critical votes. None of this would have been possible without the exceptional city staff of Morro Bay, and I truly mean that. I've had the honor of working alongside some of the most intelligent, hardworking, and experienced professionals who have moved, and some of them have moved on or retired, and the current team that we have, you're all exceptional, and I appreciate you so much. As I conclude this chapter, I remain inspired by everything we've accomplished together, and I'm going to spare you all of that list tonight. I believe in Morro Bay's future because I believe in its people, all of you here. A community filled with persistent and passionate individuals. While this may be the end of my time on City Council, it's far from the end of my service. As many of you know, I have the privilege of continuing to work for the state of California in the Assembly, and working for Assemblymember Don Addis, a fellow Morro Bay resident who spoke this evening. We will continue advocating for our city and region's interests and needs. Lastly, I want to express my deep appreciation for our two newly elected council members, Jeff Eccles and Bill LaFay, both who I have worked with in different facets of my life, and I appreciate so much. I know firsthand how capable, thoughtful, and committed you are. I want to thank you both for stepping up and to take on this crucial responsibility for our city. And I know that Morro Bay is in good hands. Thank you all for allowing me to serve. It's been an honor. Thank you.
Thank you. My turn. The best part of going last is I can use that ditto word a lot. I think that Councilmember Ford has summed up a lot of what's transpired over the last few years, and certainly been a privilege to work with you and Councilmember Barton both. I am thankful that we have a direct phone line to our Assembly member in the future. I'll make sure to leave your number on my phone, and really appreciate that. But yeah, the things we've done over the last few years, starting with our floods and the challenges that have been posed and staff turnover and all those things, I feel that we've made a lot of important steps. And I appreciate your service and couldn't agree more to your commitment to our community, both of you. Thank you. With that, we're going to recognize the two of you. Yes, please.
Mayor and council and audience, today marks a historic moment as we bid farewell to council members Barton and Ford, as well as this all-female city council. To this council, you have been a beacon of dedication, collaboration, and progress for our city. I am deeply honored to have been appointed as your city manager. Together, we have made history in Morro Bay by being the first all-female council and city manager team. This milestone is not just a testament to our capabilities, but also an inspiration for future generations. And I thank you dearly for entrusting me with the responsibilities of running this city that all of us are care deeply about. Today, council members Barton and Ford are leaving us. They joined the council during a challenging time, right in midst of the pandemic. Their leadership was crucial in guiding our community through those dark days. Now, having completed their respective terms, they have chosen to step aside and allow new leaders to emerge. While Councilmember Barton and Councilmember Ford share the same term, Each brought their own unique style and strengths to the council. So to Councilmember Barton, you are an experienced public servant whose municipal service spans several decades. Before joining the Morro Bay City Council, you had spent many years working at the city of Visalia, progressing from a dedicated city employee to an honorable elected council member. Your extensive experience in municipal work has shaped your perspective of being a Morro Bay City Council member, and also fostered your deep respect for city employees. Your unwavering support and unconditional love for all city employees have truly been inspiring. You have motivated me to be patient and gracious, and thank you for your dedication to municipal work and your compassion for all city employees. To Councilmember Ford, your empathy, responsiveness, and the willingness to address any issues meticulously have been invaluable. You are a compassionate neighbor that everyone wishes to have, as you will do anything to care for a neighbor in need. You uphold a high regard for civility, equality, and inclusion. Your philosophy of getting things done without tearing things up will always inspire me. You are an effective communicator, and you also challenge me to do the same, to always seek more meaningful ways to connect with others. I appreciate our candid conversations. You rightfully consider yourself as mother hen for the city affairs and to ensure that everything and everybody is taken care of. I can attest to the weight that sense of responsibility come with honor, and also can be a burden sometimes. So thank you for your authentic, nurturing, and considerate approach to leadership. Thank you for propelling me to showcase my strength and challenge me to be resilient in more ways than I thought possible. Thank you for just being an incredible individual. You will be missed. Now to our Mayor Witham, congratulations on successfully running uncontested and continuing to lead us another 2-year term. Your strength and commitment to bringing consensus among council members have been a guiding light for this council and our community. In your first term as a mayor, you have steered the city towards a sound and strategic financial future while ensuring us to complete delayed capital projects. You have tirelessly championed for and implemented joint meetings with advisory committees, which will have a long-lasting impact to empower others and collaborate with different groups. As the head of the council, you have shown the courage to lead through controversies. You demonstrated the grit to tolerate being disliked. You exhibit the determination to find balance in supporting every voice in our city. I am grateful for your experience, your leadership, and I look forward to continuing our work together to achieve even greater heights. With that, I would like to invite Councilmember Barton and Councilmember Ford to step down. We would like to present you a little something.
Pot.
Got your new wine glass, Jen?
let them finish having their moment. No, let them finish having their moment. We'll get up so we can clap for them. There you go. Yep. Come on there.
By the time you showed up, Travis. Time you showed up.
We are now leaving. Okay, got it. It's nuts.
We'll give them a moment, and then I will meet Mayor Wixom and council members-elect Lefebvre and Eccles at the podium and issue the oath of office. So just one moment. Turn the mic to
It's just you and me, kid.
Hi, please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name. Solemnly swear
Solemnly swear
that I will support and defend
The Constitution of the United States.
and the Constitution of the State of California against all enemies, foreign and domestic.
All enemies, foreign and domestic. I will bear true faith and allegiance to the Constitution of the United States.
and the
Constitution
Constitution of the State of California.
of the State of California.
That I take its obligation freely. Without any mental reservation.
Without any mental reservation.
And that I will well and faithfully discharge.
I will well and faithfully discharge
The duties upon which I'm
about
about to enter.
to enter.
Again, they'll do some photographs.
Now you'll talk to us?
I can talk to you. We're switching.
Thank you.
We're switching. Oh, okay. You want us to? Okay. I guess. Yeah, or whatever you want. Yeah? Okay, very good.
So they got me sitting next to you. Is that going to be okay?
Thank you, everyone. Thank you for being here this evening, and thank you again to Councilmember Ford and Barton. Thank you to the community that has come out and supported us over the last 2 years that I've served up here. I look forward to the next 2 years. And and thank you to our staff. I appreciate everything, our advisory boards, and our extremely engaged community. I'll speak in a few minutes, but I'm going to let Councilmember, how's that sound? Echols, kick it off real quick here.
Thank you very much, Mayor Wixom. My goodness, here we go. It is an honor to be sitting up here representing the citizens of Morro Bay. First off, I want to thank outgoing council members Barton and Councilmember Ford. I have a special connection with the Ford family. Other than Jen makes me cry as well with her sentimental thoughts. Our kids grew up together, and years ago, I was recruited by Joan Solu to be treasurer at the PTA at Del Mar Elementary, and Jen was the president of the Del Mar Elementary. And so I had the privilege of serving a couple of years there and got to know Jen. And I will just say that, Jen, you've set an example of unequaled compassion and civility and care for the community, and it's something that I will aspire to. So thank you. I want to, we all know this wasn't let's see, the next meeting, they told me to be brief, but the next meeting doesn't start till 5:30? So, very good.
No, we're over at 5.
Just kidding. We all know that this wasn't a hotly contested race for the first time in Morro Bay City's history. We had an uncontested race. But I want to assure the voters and residents of Morro Bay that that doesn't lessen my dedication and my passion and my fervor to serve the city and the residents here. I'll go over a couple of objectives that I hope to achieve over the next 4 years and share with you a little bit more about what drove me to be here. First off, I've been serving the community for the last 20 years. I love this community, and I love the people of this community. When I look out at the audience and see the faces of my neighbors, of my friends, of my loved ones, I am truly inspired. And I will do my utmost to serve you, to make sure that Morro Bay continues to be a loving, caring community that we are, and that everyone has the ability to thrive in Morro Bay. It's interesting that we just had this citizens initiative on the ballot as well, and it really brought home the fact to a lot of us what Morro Bay means to us individually and how precious the city is to each of us. We know that we're blessed with the natural beauty of the city, but we also have community here, and we know that we want to maintain what we have and not see the character of the city change into something that none of us recognize. We're here because we love being here, and all of us have a choice, and we're here because we choose to be here. So I promise you that I will do my utmost to preserve what makes this community special and hold on to those things that bind us together. The prior council over the last 2 years has made some great strides with regard to transparency, and I will do my best to continue that trend. I think the council has done a very good job with it, and I pledge to you that I'll be transparent and communicate my decisions to the best of my ability to you. I think Councilmember Barton said earlier tonight, of course, we're all not going to agree all the time, but I would like you always to know why I came to the decision that I did, even when we do disagree. The goals that I want to focus on are for the financial health and stability of the city. So I'll be, in the new year, proposing this phrase, economic development. I hesitate to use it. I like economic or financial health, but I'll be proposing some initiatives in the new year that will forward that interest for our community and get the city in the best place that we can in terms of financial strength. And then, of course, housing. I have dedicated my life the last 10 years toward housing policy and the production of housing, and in the last 5 years, specifically for affordable housing. So I'm looking forward to bringing the last 10 years of study that I've done and advocacy that I've done, and I've been to Sacramento and I've sat on panels as an expert. I'm looking forward to bringing that knowledge to the city of Morro Bay so that we can increase our stock, particularly of affordable housing here in the city. So I'll close by thanking a couple of family members that are here. My daughter, Sophia, thank you, who graduated of Morro Bay High and went to school with council member, ex-council member? Council member, retired, Jen Ford's children. And then my mentor, Ron Dinner, and his wife, Kimberly, are here tonight, and I appreciate the guidance and support that you've given me through the years, Ron. So with that, again, I will just emphasize that it's my honor. I'm humbled to be up here, and I will always do my best for you. And please, 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 please communicate with me, reach out to me, let me know when I'm doing a good job, but probably more importantly, let me know when I'm doing what you think is a bad job. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Councilmember LaFay.
Yes, I probably won't be as wordy as Jeff here. He's a little bit more of a orator than I am, but this is the next step in my journey in civic duty. I've been here for 50 years, 25 here in Morro Bay. I sat on the Harbor Advisory Board for 7 years, and this is my next step to hopefully represent all the citizens of Morro Bay in some decision-making, and I think very important decision-making. And even though we ran unopposed, I did get the opportunity to knock on a lot of doors throughout the campaign before it was decided that no one else was going to run against us. And I did go to every city council meeting over this last year. So I'm not stepping in unaware of some of the concerns and some of the needs of the city of Morro Bay. And you know, I feel that one of the council's primary responsibilities is not just to make policy or to go thumbs up or down on agenda items at public meetings. Rather, it is to determine and achieve the citizens' best desires for the community's future. And that's what I'm worried about, our future. And as Jeff said and pointed out, our fiscal responsibility is to make sure that we do balance our budget and we do meet the expenditures that we do have. And I believe I went to, with these two activities, it is my utmost hope that I am successful in representing the citizens of Morro Bay for the next 4 years. And I am too, very honored to work with the staff. And we have a dedicated staff. I know most of you. I just went through the police academy too with the chief. Very impressed with Chief Watkins and our police force, our fire captain, Dan McCrane, who was the interim harbor director. I was the president of the Friends of the Morro Bay Harbor Department. I've raised over $300,000 for the city of Morro Bay. I deeply care about Morro Bay and the fiscal future of this city. So thank you for this opportunity. And I'll look forward to meeting with you and representing you for the next 4 years. Thank you.
I'm not used to having our group clapping. I'm going to start out thanking my family first. They've been very supportive, very patient, and certainly been my advocates and my cheerleaders. So I really appreciate that. My husband, my kids, my grandkids are here this evening, you know, my mother, everyone. I'm blessed to have 4 generations living in the city, in this community, in Morro Bay, and I know what that means. That value is huge, huge, and what it means to me. Sorry, Jan.
it is about community here. That's why we're here. That's why the 5 of us are here, and that's why all of you are sitting there. It's about community. We love our town. We love where we live. We care deeply. We have different ideas about what is good and bad, but it's for the right reasons. It's because we care. This town is unique, and we value that uniqueness, recognizing the need to grow and advance, but not losing who we are along the way. I think that's what's important to all of us. We have a lot of mighty voices in this small town, and we have let our community and other communities around us know that we are going to advocate for ourselves. We will always advocate for ourselves, past, present, and future. It's important. I'm appreciative of the 2 new council members. I have watched them over the past year since they've declared their candidacy really be diligent and thoughtful and educating themselves, attending advisory board meetings, local community meetings, council meetings, and interacting with staff. I think it makes a huge difference starting out, and I really commend them for the time that they've committed rather than just stepping back saying, okay, we have this, so, see you in a few months. So it really shows their dedication to this. I think we all sit up here. I'm thankful to serve with Councilmember Edwards and Councilmember Landrum. We've built a relationship over the last couple of years working together, and we all share similar passions for our community. I don't want to go on about the things I've done or haven't done. Well, we won't talk about what I haven't done, but what I have done in the community over the years. My passion in this community has always been volunteerism in many different facets. It's what drives me. It's what I care about. And I will continue to volunteer and participate in any and every way I can. I'm here to advocate for our community, and I think those of you who know me or have gotten to know me in the last few years know that I'm an open door. I always have been, and I always will be, to whatever it is your concerns are, your ideas are, your suggestions are. I want us to all work together and move forward. And we have a lot of things coming up this next year, but that's every year. So we're no different than other communities with some of our challenges, looking at our financial stability, our environmental needs, and everything else that goes with that. Our uniqueness is our harbor, and it's our jewel. And so for me, that's always been at the forefront of most of my decisions and my advocacy as far as positions for our city, and it will continue to be, because I think that's just what we value here and what makes us Morro Bay, is that I think somebody said from the Planning Commission, there's a rock and there's the bay. And you don't need to do much more advertising after that, because we know the value of both those things. So thank you all for being here this evening. Thank you to the staff. Thank you to all of our families, for all of us that are up here. And with that, we're going to adjourn this meeting, take a break, and we will start our regular meeting at 5:30. Thank you. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us, and for those of you who have been here, for sticking around. Welcome to the regular meeting, December 10th, 5:30, Morro Bay Veterans Hall. We've already established a quorum at the earlier meeting, and I'm going to ask Captain Talmadge to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance, please. To the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, Captain Talmadge. Moving on, closed session report. We had no closed session because we had our swearing in earlier. Thank you to everyone who was here and joined, and thank you for all the comments. We'll move on to mayor and council member reports, announcements, and presentations. And I will go to my right with
Councilmember Landrum?
I don't have much to announce. I went to the tree lighting, which was a fun, very festive event with Santa there, and there were other council members, and now all the council, almost all the, were you there, Bill? I don't think so. It was really nice. Otherwise, I just wanted to welcome the 2 new council members while I have the opportunity. I guess this is what it takes to get these 2 to dress up. We even got Bill to put on some pants. And I hope it's a new trend. It's getting cold. And to the comments about having an all-women council, that was really amazing. I think that women change the world. But then again, I think it's really, we don't do it alone. We do it with men. And I think this is going to provide a really good balance, and I'm excited to see how this goes. I'm very hopeful. And I think that's all I'll say for now.
Thank you. Any announcements, Councilmember LaFay?
I have 2 announcements. I wanted to, I attended this weekend the professional surfing contest at The Rock. It was a 4-day event, the WSL. I don't think we could have scripted a better wave or sunshine day for the last 4 days. I mean, I went out there a couple times and saw those women and men. These are professional surfers out there, and it was a great event. I want to thank the City of Morro Bay for holding it. I think this is the 3rd year, and we couldn't have scripted it any better. So I hope some people got a chance to go out there and watch it. Second of all, I did mention a little bit earlier that 10 years ago, when I was on the Harbor Advisory Board, I started a nonprofit, the Friends of the Morro Bay Harbor Department. Given the fact that I'm now a city council person, I have relinquished the reins of the Friends to Cal Myers, who I see in the audience, and his wife, who is now going to take over the Friends of the Morro Bay Harbor Department and help the Harbor Department with supplemental funding and training as they see fit. So we'll have some exciting things happening. I thank Cal for his dedication. He is the current Harbor Advisory Chairman, so he has a fond love of the harbor also. So those are my 2 comments. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Edwards?
Yeah, thank you, Mayor. I would like to acknowledge last night's advisory board party where we recognized all of our advisory boards and the staff that work with them. It was a wonderful event, all kinds of great food provided by Carla's Kitchen, and Haley, Carla's daughter, did a wonderful, beautiful job of that. Way too much food. But fortunately, staff got to partake in that today, so I wanted to say thank you. Our advisory boards, you know, often we don't see them up here, do we? We don't always see them at meetings either, so it's a really unique opportunity to thank them for their service, thank them for all the extracurricular activity and study that they have, that they take into their lives, whether they're retired or not. So it's a big job in advising the previous council and this new council, and so I just want to say thank you so much to them. I also, what was the other thing? I had one more thing. I too would like to welcome Councilmember LaFay and Eccles here tonight. I'm very much looking forward to working with the 2 of you. There is much to be done. Many of the things that you echoed tonight, or that you said, I echo. And I'm looking forward to getting to work. And I also had the opportunity last night to meet our new Harbor Vitality Director, Chris Munson. So I just wanted to welcome you, and I look forward to getting to know you better and working with you.
Thank you. Any announcements, Councilmember Eccles?
We had a fantastic evening the other night with the lighted boat parade, and I had the privilege and pleasure of being the announcer down at the yacht club. I've done that for the last couple of years. So it was just a lot of fun, and there were no accidents as well, which is great. There were a few near misses, but no collisions, so that is wonderful. And I also wanted to welcome our Harbor Vitality Director. I look forward to getting to know you. As Councilmember LaFay, I served on the Harbor Advisory Board as chair a decade or so ago, and the harbor is of deep interest to me as well. So, and I look forward to working with all of staff over the coming 48 months, and it's, again, a pleasure to be up here. Thank you.
Thank you. I think we were probably all at the same events. The lighted boat parade, I had the opportunity to judge along with 5 others, and I want to do a shout out to our harbor department for a great job on the water. We had about 25 entries, 20-some official and a few bootleggers, but it was a lot of fun and a great turnout, and PD, thank you. They did an awesome job getting all the people out of town. It went pretty smoothly, it looked like. 41 looked like a freeway. Tree lighting and Santa Claus, thank you to the rec department staff, Kirk Carmichael and Helica and all their team, and to the seniors who did the donations for the beverages and all the refreshments. It was great, well attended, and Kids Club did a great program. And the advisory board recognition, again, as I said last night, we appreciate the work that the advisory boards do. They're the eyes and the ears of the community. They're all of you who volunteer and help provide information to us for the decisions we make. So thank you for that. And with that, I would also put a plug in that we have openings and we are taking applications till December 20th. So please consider applying for one of the many seats open. You can go to the city website and look that up. Thank you to the city clerk for making the arrangements for last night's advisory reception. It was very nice. And to the Yacht Club for having us there. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to the city manager.
Thank you, Mayor. First, on behalf of all staff, we want to congratulate the new council members and Councilmember Eccles and Councilmember LaFay. We look forward to working with you, and I know we were talking about history making with all-female city council and then female city manager, and you actually run, both of you and the mayor together, the 3 of you ran uncontested. That you made history as well, so congratulations, well done. We know that you will bring new perspectives and leadership to entire team Morro Bay. We're grateful that you are willing to step up and then to fulfill the council members' duties. I also wanted to say that the staff, our objective is to collectively support the council as a whole for your collective success. So we are your resource. So feel free to reach out to us anytime you need something. I know the new Harbor Vitality Director has been recognized and introduced, and thank you for meeting with Chris Munson, and he just joined us a couple weeks ago on the 3rd. So welcome, and we are really excited to have him. And I also have the new assistant to the city manager, Whitney Gordon. Whitney, could you please stand up? And so Whitney joined us a few weeks ago, and so then with all that, my executive team has been complete, and I really hope that I don't have to do anything about that for 20 years. It will be very, very good. To conclude, this is your first meeting. I just, there's a lot of emotion right now, but I wanted to conclude my remarks with a quote by Helen Keller that captures the spirit of our work and our community. Alone, we can do so little. Together, we can do so much. I would say City Council and staff, let us charge on together, united in our mission to achieve incredible deeds for our city. And together, I believe we will continue to serve our city to the best of our abilities.
Thank you, City Manager Kimball. Appreciate that. Do we have any subcommittee reports this evening at all? Mr. Singwald, anything with Downtown Design District or power plant?
No subcommittee reports this evening.
Nothing, thank you. And water reclamation facility, anything? Yes, thank you. And thank you for filling in this evening for the fill-in. Mr. Kwolek is out on paternity leave, so for that. And offshore wind, which would be our new harbor director, along with collaboratively with everyone else and just being on the subcommittee. We do have a Zoom meeting next week. Councilmember Landerman and myself are on that subcommittee, and we were just noticed yesterday that one of the 3 wind companies has withdrawn. So we will, just waving, please. So we will stay tuned till we find out more information, and we will share that when we have more to share. Thank you. Public comment. I have 2 speaker slips to start out with, and then after that, it's open to everyone. I'll start with tradition, Linda Winters, followed by Sugar Cliff.
Oh, no, I've been here too long. I've become a tradition. Greetings, Mayor, new council members, city staff, and the chiefs. I am Linda Winters, the tradition, 30-year resident in the same mobile home park here in Morro Bay. As some of you may know, I am really fond of using numbers to make my point, and tonight is no exception. First, 7,980 increased to 8,182. That's the registered voters here in Morro Bay, something to be extremely proud of. It's 80% of our entire population. Extraordinary. And most of us got out there and voted. And we stood strong with all of our issues. Secondly, 770 and 56. 770 Thanksgiving meals cooked and packed to go by 56 volunteers, all done thanks to the Morro Bay Lions Club, delivered by the police explorers and the volunteers, and the bags that were used for the home deliveries were decorated by Girl Scout Troop 45113. They decorated over 200 bags, and we had such extraordinary comments about it all. And one of the troop members came and spoke at City Council a couple of months ago, and she is going to be our next future speaker. And since I'm reporting numbers, another Lions Club sponsored event every single Monday night, just last night. We have, for the last 11 years, we've had a Morro Bay community dinner. Last night we served over 76 folks, a hot meal. We had hundreds of pounds of food from the food bank and 7 tables with clothing, jackets, blankets, and toiletry articles. Year to date, we've served 4,150 plus hot meals provided by 8 different groups. So this ends my end of year report. Oh, one more number. 14 more days till Christmas. Thank you very much.
Hi, my name is Sugar Cliff, and I own Grandma's Mercantile on Main. It's the first time I ever spoke, so I'm really nervous. We have been having, me along with Gaia's Garden and the Ugly Mug, have been having extended nights of shopping. On Friday night, we've been staying up until 8 o'clock, and we've done this for the last couple weeks, and it's really great. We've been having great success. So I wanted to announce that we'll be doing it again this Friday. So we're staying open until 8 o'clock for extended hours, so people in town after work can come. But I'm happy to announce that Santa accepted our invitation to come on December 20th. So we'll be having an open house, and it's being sponsored by The Ugly Mug, Gaia's Garden, Savory Smoked Barbecue, Legends, and myself. I'm 2 doors down, but they include me in all their stuff. So that's going to be on Friday, December 20th from 6 to 8. And I was told Santa's a big animal lover, so bring fur babies, grandbabies, new babies, grandparents, anybody. We're going to be having, I'm serving hot chocolate. Ugly Mug is having apple cider. Gia's Garden always makes wonderful elixirs of tea and stuff. So we've been making it the last few Friday nights a nice little party down there. And we'd like to invite anyone that wants to come down there to join us and come see Santa Claus. You take your picture with them and just have a good time. We're trying to kind of boost up some stuff downtown. We need a little boost in, and we figure we want to call ourselves the funnest block in town. And that's what we do. We have that little corner. Of course, we have the bars too, so you know. But all of us girls down there, we're a lot of women owners, and Savory Smoke is the newest addition to us, and they are fantastic. People need to come and check out that food. And they're open nightly until 10 o'clock, so that helps us too. So, well, thank you very much, and congratulations to you guys, and I know that I said that to you not too long ago, and thank you for everything you've all done. Thank you.
Thank you, Sugar. Anyone else for public comment?
Getting older. Okay, welcome everybody. And I'm unscripted tonight. This is not the night to talk business. This is the next 2 weeks, talk about joy, what we have here, a fantastic city, new council meeting, a beautiful mayor. And the next 2 weeks, we need to enjoy ourselves. Enjoy your families, and then we can think about business next year in January. God, I just love it. And I want to thank our chief, keeping up that tradition of the cars going by too fast. But next year, can you slow down a little bit? Yeah. I didn't even get my door open. I was talking to Wade. But I'm glad that you continue in that tradition. We have some new members in the city, and they were telling me they didn't even know they did such a thing. And our police department, fire department, I mean. When my wife fell, seriously, and I called the 911, and I didn't get the phone on the receiver when I heard the siren go off. And within, 15, 20 minutes, she was in the hospital. Where can you go into a city with this kind of joy? I mean, not a joy, but you know what I mean. So that's about all I have to say. Just congratulations. It's 3-2, a beautiful sight up there. Oh, one comment. This is tongue-in-cheek. When I first moved here, they always complained, why are all the men up there? All we have are men, men, men. Well, hey, and then it turned all women. Hey, that's okay. But now it's been broken. What do you call it? The spears have been broken, and now we got 2 men and 3 lovely ladies up there, and good 2 handsome men, and I'm looking forward to next year. So Merry Christmas and Happy New Year to everybody. Thank you.
Betty Winholtz. I have a question of inquiry. I've been noticing that down on Morrow and Main Street and Harbor and where the sound people have been putting undergrounding of our fiber optics. And it appears that where they're leaving their grate, that they're asphalting around that rather than being concrete. And so I'm assuming maybe they're just going to all concrete that together, or hopefully they're not leaving that. And that's my question, that I'm sure they're going to clean that up.
Thank you, Ms. Winholtz. Sorry. Oh, no.
Sure, yeah, all right, okay. Well, welcome, fresh meat, To start off what will no doubt be a long and probably fruitless relationship, I'd like to discuss the minor success I've had in combating anti-houseless measures in Morro Bay. Some individuals on my block expressed concern regarding one of our neighbors. I, too, had made note of this individual, and owing to my firm belief in see something, say something, I immediately set about attempting to manufacture an opportunity to strike up a conversation with this person. I soon found myself in possession of two interesting pieces of information. Not only did this individual believe that direct democracy is, quote, mob rule, but they were also employed as one of the folks in bunny suits that sweep our local unhoused communities. If one believes in depriving people of their autonomy, comfort, and the means to live their lives, I do not believe that person has the right to those things themselves. In order to combat this individual, however, there was no need for direct confrontation. They put themselves at risk by hurting others. In short order, I determined the most prudent course of action was to simply tell everybody that would listen that the guy across the street from me hates democracy and sweeps homeless camps. He knew what he was doing was wrong, regardless of what anyone did. I knew he would fear having his sins known. It took some time, but we've been rid of that guy for at least a few months now. As I'm only one person with limited energy and patience, the actions that I can take and the impacts that I can have are severely limited, except insofar as they inspire others. What I would most like to see is the establishing of a rapid response network here in town, not only for our unhoused neighbors should they encounter police or unneighborly behavior, but also our undocumented neighbors. Whether it's the community service branch of the police or ICE, we need to do more to stand between our neighbors and those that would deprive us of the company of our brothers and sisters. For those wondering, a rapid response network in this case would literally just be somebody's phone number, call them up and say, hey, there's something going on, can you show up here? I'm not really in a position to do that because most of my understanding of the law really only centers on what I personally can and cannot do in terms of the more nitty-gritty stuff that would be required for these, direct interactions that may result in confrontations. I'm just not really knowledgeable in these areas, and again, am only one person.
Good evening, Paul Donnelly of Morro Bay. Seems that the audience has left, but congratulations to our new council. Carla, for your re-election. It looks like you got a good team up here. Briefly, I just wanted to speak to the A24 measure that just passed, or just got certified, that it's imperative that it goes to the Coastal Commission immediately so that if anything's come their way, they will already have it in their hands, knowing that a vote of the people is required before anything changes on that property. So it's important that it gets up to Santa Cruz as soon as you can. Thank you.
Hello, good evening. Nicole Dorfman. So nice to see this new council. Congratulations to council members Eccles and LaFay. So I'm so glad to see you up there. I am here this evening speaking as a representative of React Alliance. I was very happy to hear it announced that Equinor has put a pause on their work here, and we did announce that to our membership. So I'm also here. I know there's going to be a vacation. Nothing's really happening right now, but I want you to keep this in your minds when you're at home with your families, talking to people. We are still under threat from these multinational corporations who want to industrialize our harbor and our town to serve their interests and their pocketbooks. I'm going to read just an excerpt from a letter that was written by the Morro Bay Commercial Fishermen's Organization and sent to members of the House of Representatives in November. What is happening on the East Coast should discourage us from going forward with this madness in California. The science is immature for the size and scale of the projects they are proposing, and they are already having disastrous impacts on the East Coast. The Bureau of Ocean Energy Management, BOEM, authorized Vineyard Wind permission to install 62 turbines 812 feet tall. A blade smashed into the ocean on a perfectly calm day in July. The one blade failure sent forever chemicals, including sulfur hexafluoride, into the ocean and spread thousands of pieces of sharp fiberglass fragments all over the coastline of 3 states. Furthermore, there is disturbing evidence that management collaborated with workers to compromise quality control in the blade manufacturing process. And this is just the beginning of the blade failures. I did read the other day that that's the end of the letter from the Morro Bay Commercial Fishermen's Organization. But I did read the other day that they are still having pieces of this broken blade wash up on the beaches in the East Coast 4 months after the event. So I don't need to tell you that our town lives and dies on tourism. And as Mayor Wixom said, the Rock, the estuary, that's all you need to say. That's our jewel. I don't think any of us here could even imagine the type of destruction to our environment, to our community, to our economy, if there was a disaster like that to happen here. And at this point, with the hundreds of blades they want to put out, hundreds of turbines, it's not an if this happens, it really is a when. So thank you very much for your attention and your thoughtfulness about this matter.
Good evening, council members, mayor, city officials. My name's Dina Lundquist. I'm with the Morro Bay Chamber of Commerce. I've been with the chamber about 90 days now, and I just wanted to say how welcome I have felt to this community. The previous council made themselves available. They listened to the chamber. We listened to what is happening with the city, and I look forward to that. And I've already experienced that with Councilmember LaFay and Councilmember Eccles before they were even in office today. So I look forward, on behalf of our 300 members, continuing the dialogue of communication and access with the council. The chamber's had a historically really good relationship with the city leadership and the council and the mayor, and we look forward to that going ahead. And with that, I want to welcome Chris Munson. Look forward to meeting you in the future. And also Whitney Gordon. It's been a pleasure to see such professionals and qualified individuals, and working with them and the chamber as well. I think it's going to continue to strengthen our economic development and our plans for the city as well. So I commend Yvonne for those great individuals, bringing them on board, and we look forward to that relationship going forward. And as we embark on a new year, I think it's going to be a very exciting one for our chamber and our city, and I wish everyone all the best in the holiday season. Thank you.
Well, I want to start by welcoming the new members, and it's so nice to be here. Thank you for letting me speak, and also I appreciate all the hard work from you and the staff. And my topic is a little different, so bear with me while I go through it. But I want to start with where we need to end up. Please don't do anything on this issue. Please do not agree with the requested changes that I'm about to discuss. They aren't needed. And first, I want to commend the wisdom of the Morro Bay Planning Commission in issuing the original construction permit for the development of the Black Hill Villas housing project, especially Cindy Jacinth, the past planning manager. She was very wise. In communications before she left, Cindy related to me that the Planning Commission was very concerned that there would not be adequate visitor parking at Black Hill Villas and that homeowners would take these spaces for themselves. That's exactly what's happening. So the CCNRs included provisions to protect visitor parking, and the developer was required to paint visitor on 9 of the 17 parking spots. All the home buyers signed an agreement to abide by these CCNRs. Fast forward to today, and here's the issue I want to just bring to your attention, is that the builder is who still owns 2 homes, is now collaborating with certain homeowners to destroy visitor parking in our area. In my opinion, it's because they want these common spaces for their own because they're right next to their house. And I'm against it because I want to preserve visitor parking. And so they want to and also remove the requirement to park in their own garage. I mean, duh. One board member told me, it's just too damn convenient. I mean, and that's the attitude of the board member and those people. These changes for our CCNRs aren't needed. The CCNRs already provide the HOA board with very broad opportunity and authority to change and regulate visitor parking. The HOA board should work within that framework, so no changes are needed. In summary, the Planning Commission should not approve the CCNR changes to Black Hill Villas. Protecting visitor parking was part of the original permit approval. This should not be changed. It's in the community interest to protect these spaces. Please do not participate in destroying our visitor parking in Black Hills. I've already been communicating with the Planning Commission, and I look forward to meeting the new development director, Mr. Senwold, and discussing this issue. Thank you. 4 seconds. And by the way, I read an article that on the turbines that they also are emitting BPA, which is a toxic chemical, into the ocean and affects wildlife, but I didn't come prepared to talk a lot about that.
Good evening. I really wasn't going to talk tonight, but it's so celebratory. So welcome to the council. And Bill, you forgot to say that it was also offshore winds. It was a very nice surf contest. I wanted to ask about the subcommittee that are listed under 4D, the Water Reclamation Facility in Morro Bay / Cayuga Sanitary District JPA, and the Morro Bay Power Plant, Vistra, and offshore wind. Who make up these committees? And the offshore wind energy we just got an update from Ms. Nicole that one of the lease site holders pulled out. So wouldn't that be something that whoever sits on the offshore wind energy might have reported? So I just am curious as to who sits on these, who makes up these committees is all. And then there's an issue on my street where a person at the corner, they have a corner lot, their tree is like, or bush, it's like overgrown so much that it's just out in the street. It's causing some problems. Who would I contact at the city to get the city to come out and cut it if the owner isn't willing to do that? So maybe you can answer when I'm done. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Margaret Carmen, and welcome. It's so nice to see you guys up there and that Mayor Wixom is back with us. All right, I'm going to start out being happy that I live in Morro Bay. And the other thing that people come to Morro Bay for is the estuary, which brings me to what I want to talk about, because we've already gotten numbers from other reports about how many people come here to do birding and et cetera. Last week, I called a friend that asked her to do something, and she said, no, I can't. I'm going to this meeting in Los Osos. She said, I told the staff to put it on the website, right, that there was this meeting, because we weren't formally told about it. And what the meeting is, it was called the Estero Bay climate resiliency transportation plan. And I really want you guys as the new board to look into what that consulting company has in mind for South Bay Boulevard, because we're all affected by South Bay Boulevard. Okay, I'm going to tell you, well, first of all, I'm going to make this fast. It was really upsetting because they did what they did at Vistra, that instead of having all of us stand up one at a time and say our ideas, they put you in those little groups, and then they give you these little sticky notes, and then you don't get to hear what anybody else is saying, because you know what? They don't really want to know what we have to say. That's my personal opinion. And one of the groups, I asked this young woman, and I'm going to imitate her, and this is the truth. I said, well, you know, if you widen South Bay Boulevard, you're going to really affect the wildlife. So I haven't heard anything about that. Who's paying attention to that? She rolled her eyes and she goes, oh, I guess I am. I'm the environmental engineer. So I want you to know, it's really frustrating. They're talking about doing berms and raising the height of Morro Bay Boulevard, or putting these big things, pylons, I don't even know what they are. And they talked about pedestrian lanes and the bike lanes. This is serious. We cannot do all this construction around our sacred estuary. It's like, I want people to realize nature comes first. I know the bicyclists of the world won't listen to that, but we've got to preserve our nature. And you guys, please look into what these consulting company is coming up with. We need to know ahead of time, and we're behind the ball. Thank you, and really thank you very much for all that you do and you're going to do.
AGP, are there any raised hands?
Yes, we have two people with hands raised. Wendy, I'm unmuting your microphone.
Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am, we do.
Hi, good afternoon and good evening and happy holidays. My name is Wendy Wendt. I am here from First 5 San Luis Obispo County, and I'm representing the Early Care and Education Planning Council's Advocacy Committee. We're a group committed to building and furthering the important work of the We Are the Care initiative. Those of you unfamiliar with We Are the Care, this was a multi-sector coalition founded in 2019, feels like centuries ago, mobilized individuals and agencies to pursue collective ways to address challenges around childcare in our county. I have some updates for you regarding childcare here on the Central Coast, and I'm here to reinvigorate your support in this movement. Since we last gave comment, much progress has been made to lift up childcare in our county and to find solutions to the ever-present childcare crisis. For example, $3 million in County American Rescue Plan Act funds allocated to childcare are being dispersed to local childcare providers. This has allowed the field a bit of relief from the extra strain of COVID-19 in the form of competitive and non-competitive grants. Childcare providers are small businesses like many others, but face an extra unique set of challenges now and during the pandemic. Additionally, in our local community and beyond, childcare is increasingly being recognized as a foundational component of economic health. Uplift Central Coast, as some of you may know, is a coalition dedicated to economic resilience across the Central Coast region from Ventura to Santa Cruz counties, and recently released a regional plan. Throughout this Uplift plan, childcare has been called out as a major economic mobility strategy. A funding opportunity is now available to apply for grants, and 17 different agencies across 6 counties have requested funding for projects related to childcare. Of these, 6 are from San Luis Obispo County entities. Finally, I wanted to let you know that the Early Care and Education Planning Council will be hosting a council retreat all day on Friday, January 31st, 2025. In the spirit of We Are the Care, the retreat will focus on collective impact, and as our civic leaders, you are critical to this work. Please mark your calendars. Again, the retreat will be held Friday, January 31st, 2025, from 9 to 3. More information and a formal invitation will be sent your way soon. The Advocacy Committee will be back in the new year with more updates, and we look forward to your continued support in 2025. Thank you so much and have a good evening.
All right, we have one more public comment on Zoom. Judy, I'm unmuting your microphone. Please unmute it on your end.
Welcome to the new council members. We're happy to have you, and we're happy to have Mayor Wixom back also with us. You guys have a little bit of an advantage with the passage, the 60% passage of A24, because it sends a clear message that Morro Bay residents do not want toxic industry in our city. Support an ordinance that reflects the outcome of A24. I also have a request for an ordinance regarding drones. The state of California has some guidelines for drones, but they're just not very specific. And we do have the opportunity to create our own ordinance. And I'm asking about this because we have on many, many occasions, and recently last night, a drone will just fly and hover by our windows. And one evening they were hovering by my garage windows, and they're not just flying up over everything, they're down by our houses, going in between our houses. And we're not permitted to do anything about them unless they cross our fence or something. And I just feel that we need to have an ordinance that says, yes, you can do something about it, because it's an invasion of privacy, and it really is, when it's not at night and they're looking in your lit homes, it's a modern day peeping Tom. There's a certain perversion. So I would just really like to know if that's a possibility, that if we could have an ordinance that's more specific that protects us from that. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
AGP, are there any more raised hands?
No, Madam Mayor.
Thank you. If there's no further public comment, I will close public comment and bring it back to council. I will attempt to answer a few of those questions, but I don't want to get too far off our agenda tonight. I know Ms. Cecil was going to answer the Astound, but I can answer that for you because we already addressed it at the last meeting. They are going back. Mr. Qualick did verify that, and I'm sure if you have any questions, you can reach out to the Public Works Department, to Ms. Cecil. They will go back and put concrete where concrete goes, and they will go back and put paving where paving goes, and fix the roads, and they're supposed to, anything they do is supposed to be better than when they found it. That's what I was told. And I have seen some areas where they were dirt, and now they're back to concrete. So I think they're in the process, but we will definitely monitor it. Linda, your question is all you have to do is go to the Public Works website, just like you do for potholes, and you can file a nuisance complaint. And your question about offshore wind, well, obviously you can see the two names on there are Councilmember Landrum and myself, and we were just noticed yesterday of Vistra's, or excuse me, not Vistra's, Equinor's intent to pause. So they haven't notified us, and we only know what they tell us. So we will report out anything that we get as we get it available for that committee. Sugar, thank you for sharing the downtown Morro Bay information with Santa House and all the businesses. Hopefully you'll get a good turnout. We want to see the community supporting the downtown business area. Look forward to that. The question about the meeting, SLOCOG did not notice us. I'm the representative for SLOCOG on the, this is the second meeting they've had actually, and for the resiliency, and our representative working on that since the floods for the last 2 years is the Public Works Department, and Mr. Qualick has been participating with state, federal, local agencies. It's a very collaborative effort. So our Public Works Department, probably working with our Community Development Department, but mainly Public Works, and there are multiple agencies, and we are low man on the totem pole. This is mostly led by Fish and Wildlife, the NEP, the Regional Water Control Board, and all those other entities. So they failed to notice us. Ms. Winholtz contacted them. We've received correspondence back, and they are going to work on putting a public workshop in Morro Bay after the first of the year. So we will make sure that that's noticed. And Linda, thank you very much for the Thanksgiving. I'm so sorry I missed that. I think it got by all of us because we haven't been here since last month. So thank you for your service to that and to the Lions Club, to the Girl Scouts, to all the volunteers, the police department for delivering. Thank you for the caroling cop cars. I know that the community loves that. So thank you very much. Drone question, is that you, Chief, for any response on that?
We can certainly visit that if that's something that the community is requesting. There are some things that we can write into a city ordinance that restricts people from taking off and landing within the city. However, once a drone is in the air, that is the FAA and that is airspace, which we do not control. So we can certainly, it's a broad topic, but certainly if someone is interested in pursuing that, we can take a look at that.
Thank you. Appreciate that. With that, we're going to move on to public comment for the consent agenda, items 7A through 7F. Any public comment on the consent agenda? AGP, are there any raised hands?
Madam Mayor, there are no raised hands.
Going, gone. With that, I will close public comment, bring it back to council, and ask if anyone wants to pull any of the items 7A through 7F. To my right? To my left? Nope, I'll ask for a motion for approval of the consent agenda, please.
Oh, go ahead. I motion to approve consent agenda items 7A through
7F.
7F. I'll second that.
And we'll do a voice vote. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Moving on to 9A, which is our business item, our last item of the evening, and that will be appointments for Mayor Pro Tem, representatives for discretionary boards, liaisons, and various subcommittees. And I will just let the city clerk quickly comment on that before we move into that item.
Thank you, Mayor. This is an annual process that is largely laid out in the council policies and procedures, where the council appoints the mayor pro tem for the upcoming calendar year based on our city policy. That would be Councilmember Edwards would serve as mayor pro tem for 2025. We also have the opportunity for the council to make appointments for representatives on the various county and regional discretionary boards. Our council policies primarily leave that to the discretion of the mayor, but of course the council votes on it. And then also liaison assignments to our city advisory bodies. And lastly, the update to the council subcommittees, if any. So I will hand it back to you, Mayor, to add any comments.
Thank you. I think that pretty much covered it, but I will open up to council for questions before we go to public comment. Any questions? No. To my right? To my left? Questions? No? Public comment is open on item 9A. AGP, are there any raised hands?
No raised hands, Madam Mayor.
With that, I will close it and bring it back to council. Comments? To my right? Nope. To my left? Yes?
Thank you, Mayor. I just wanted to say thank you to staff and the mayor tonight for having this be presented as a business agenda item as opposed to being in the consent agenda. I really appreciate the opportunity for us to examine this if we need to. I wanted to also thank the mayor for her careful consideration on the appointments. I feel that it is definitely important to spread the workload. It is a lot of work. We have work that we do here, and as well with the boards and the committees out in the greater community. And I also appreciate consistency that was looked at there as well. But if it is, I would like to see if we could have just a brief discussion with regard to one of the county and regional boards. Most of these boards have members assigned and alternates assigned by the mayor. And one of them, which is the REACH Economic Roundtable, does not currently have an alternate. And I was wondering if one council could just discuss whether or not we could have an alternate there in case Mr. Eccles is not available to attend the roundtable. And I feel that this is critical because, again, this is a regional group. I think, you know, most of us would agree here tonight, especially after what we've heard at the podium and here on the dais, the importance of having a voice there. And speaking on our behalf, oftentimes we've been identified as a critical component, if not a major asset to some of the issues that are discussed there, including offshore wind and battery storage. So I would just like to put it out there to discuss whether or not we could add an alternate to that, as well as I would like to throw myself out there to continue the work that I've done as the alternate, being up to speed on the work. And that would be to you, Mayor.
Thank you, Councilmember Edwards. There's no alternate because they only meet twice a year, and the other committee that only meets twice a year, which is the San Luis County Tourism Marketing District Advisory Committee, only has a liaison with no alternate because there is only 2 meetings a year. So I want to believe that the council member that's taking the seat will be committed the same as you were, and unless someone's interested in adding more seats. We worked a little diligently this year, the city clerk and myself, along with council, weighing in on removing a few of the committees that were no longer active or participating. They were kind of redundant, and I appreciate your offer, and I know you're moving into the mayor pro tem position, so you will be acting as my alternate. And I appreciate that, thank you. But unless someone's interested in changing it, and I'm not seeing anything, so I think we'll let it stay the way it is with those 2 seats with just the 1 representative for now. Any other comments? Motion to approve 9A, excuse me.
I move that we approve item 9A.
And do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Thank you. We'll do a voice vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Declaration of future agenda items. Mr. LaFay, any future agenda items?
I think the only thing that I would like to maybe throw out is we talk about the advisory boards. And one of the things that myself and Mr. Eccles discussed beforehand is there doesn't seem to be a workbook or a worksheet for advisory boards. And if there is, then it's a moot point. But I would like to discuss developing a worksheet or a workboard for each advisory board of what we as the council expect them to do for this next year.
And I'll refer to the city clerk for a response for that.
I may be hearing 2 different thoughts here, but there is an advisory board handbook, which is a policy document, and it includes the bylaws for each of the advisory bodies. It sounds like you may be thinking about their work plan, kind of an annual work plan, and that is something that in the past has come out of the goals process, which the city will embark on in the spring.
Does that work? Thank you. And yeah, that's something that Councilmember Landrum has also brought up. So I think we have goal setting. Excuse me, Councilmember Edwards, I'm sorry. Excuse me. And we can address that during goal setting if that works for you guys. Future agenda items, Councilmember Landrum?
I had a couple. Let's see. I would like to, since we have a new council now, and I would like to review the short-term rental ordinance, bring that back for a review, to look for potential opportunities to reduce the numbers. And I'd also like to know, and.
So let's do one at a time.
Okay.
Well, you have something else?
Within
Oh,
that.
okay, I'm sorry.
It's to clarify whether we have let any new permits in. You know, if there were numbers available, if we've allowed new permits, or if we still are on a pause with that. And so I just thought it's maybe a good time to review that, and I'd like to kind of expedite that to maybe a meeting in January.
So, Mr. Singwald, it's that, I think what I'm hearing is that there's interest because of the compliancy notices that have gone out, and we had paused any new permits. I'm not sure if the pause is still existing, and to address what our short-term rental ordinance looks like in light of the compliancies going out before we issue new permits.
So we're still at the cap of 175 full house short-term rentals in residentially zoned areas, which means we haven't let anyone off the wait list to issue a new permit for a full home short-term rental. Our priority right now as far as the short-term rental ordinance is to start implementing the annual renewal requirement January 1st. As we complete that process during the first quarter of 2025, that could potentially free up some openings for people to be removed from the wait list and be able to have a short-term rental, depending on the compliance effort. For example, there could be properties that currently have one of those 175 permits for a full house rental, but they don't meet the current requirements of the ordinance, so they would not be able to renew, and that would create an open space for a new short-term rental.
So I think what I'm hearing Councilmember Landrum ask for is to revisit that ordinance so that we can determine if there's an opportunity for reduction through attrition or what that looks like. So if we can get that on the planning track, please. And I will support that.
Yeah, thinking maybe it could coincide with what your presentation, or be after that, shortly after that.
Did you have a question?
Yeah, Councilmember Landrum, would this be also including any conversation with regard to unlimited commercial?
It could.
I'm just,
Sure,
'cause
yeah,
you've mentioned
good
this
point.
before, and I was
The
just-
ordinance doesn't include commercial because that's open, so.
Well.
So you just want an update?
Yeah.
Okay.
An update on that and just a conversation about the numbers.
Is that enough for you, Mr. Singwald?
Well, I would, I guess, like to set expectations on timing. January is going to be a very busy month for our department, not only because of the short-term rental compliance effort, we're also bringing the best urgency ordinance to council. We are starting the process of implementing or updating the waterfront master plan. So I would.
A lot on your plate. I think that the concern of urgency is because we don't know where the pause is and not wanting new permits issued until we can evaluate that. So however you can make that work.
So what makes the most sense to me is once we again start the annual renewal process, we'll have a much clearer picture of the situation as far as the number of short-term rentals and compliance status. I think once we collect that data, it would make sense to come back to the council, give a report on the state of short-term rentals in the city, and I think that would be the appropriate time to get direction for possible ordinance amendments.
Thank you.
And timing-wise, we would probably be ready to do that around, I would say, April of next year.
I think, and I understand the workload that you have. I guess then I would want you to report back on whether or not that pause is still in effect so that we would know that there weren't going to be new permits issued off that waiting list, because we did pause it and we haven't heard back. So one way or another, we need, I mean, if you're going to start issuing permits, I think that's the concern.
That's, yeah.
So I was going to suggest that at some point, staff can bring a report before the city council to give a report of the implementation of the current ordinance. And perhaps that will address some of the questions, immediate questions. And about the same time, we are going to work on the goal setting, the 2-year goal setting. And if council is interested in a amended ordinance or changing the regulation, I think I would suggest that the goal setting session is a good time to bring this up. Just because anytime the ordinance amendment is, it's a serious process, so we don't want to just have a knee-jerking reaction. So we wanted to give you a report first, and then if City Council has a goal, and then that'll give us, that'll help us prioritize our workload as well.
So, yeah, so I'm hearing April still?
Yeah, April, you would be, let community development and community development director and I digest your question after the meeting, and then we can send an email to council what the next steps are.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, I wouldn't want it to go much longer than that, though.
Thank you.
And then the second one is I wanted to ask if anyone was interested in campaign contribution limits with the recent election and the measure, the ballot measure. We've seen a new trend in Morro Bay that I think maybe we should address that with a conversation about campaign contribution limits.
I would support that. Yes. Yes.
All right.
So we have council support for that. City Manager Kimball. To my left, future agenda items.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I have a whole laundry list as a new council member, but I'm going to
keep it brief.
Spare us from that because it's the end of the year and a busy new year. So I'm just going to bring up one item, and that is a facade improvement program. This falls underneath economic development. It falls underneath a business enhancement package that I would like to work toward over the next 18 months. But I see a facade improvement program as low-hanging fruit, and that's something that can be worked on as an individual item before we get into potentially before goal setting, but possibly during goal setting, but before we get to a more comprehensive business enhancement program. I just think it's a good place to start.
Perfect. Thank you. Yeah, that might work into the goals.
Yeah.
I think. Councilmember Edwards? Yeah. Any future agenda items? No? Anyone else? I have one more item just to notice this evening. I'm going to ask the city clerk we have a closed session meeting on Monday, the 16th, and I'm going to ask the city clerk to add one more item. I know I don't need to do it publicly, but I'm going to anyway. And I'd like you to include in our closed session the final item, public employee performance evaluation for the city attorney pursuant to Government Code Section 54957. And I don't need support, but I'll ask if there's council support for that anyway.
I would support
Yes.
that.
Yes, thank you. With that, I will see everyone January 14th. For those of you, Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Holidays, however you choose to celebrate. Thank you so much, and be safe out there. Thank you.